So we'll be starting out fractions. So you realize that it's addition, subtraction. So these have the same denominator. These do not have the same denominator. So once you're adding fractions with the same denominator, that's the easiest one. You'll simply just put back your equal sign. Whatever your denominator is, you'll just write it back. And then you'll add the numbers of your numerator, which is the top number. So 3 plus 1, that gives you 4. And that's it. Example number 2, subtracting, same thing. Once they have the same denominator, you just simply write it back. So that's 20 for your denominator. And then you'll focus on your numerators to subtract it. So 10 minus 3, that gives you 7. And you'll be finished once it's fractions with the same denominator. However, when you're dealing with fractions with unlike denominators now, that's a little bit different. The main principle or the main focus when you're dealing with fractions with unlike denominators that teachers normally show you is just to find the lowest common multiplier. So what number can both of these go into? So you'll generally have to write out the factors. So you'll start off by saying 1 times 5, 2 times 5, 3 times 5, 4 times 5, 5 times 5. Then you'll go with 10, 1 times 10, 2 times 10, 3 times 10. And you generally go up to the same number until you see the first answer or the first product for both of them that is the same thing. So 1 times 10 would be 10 and 2 times 5 is 10. So that because you'll find that 10 is a common factor, you just simply write it. Then you'll say now 10 into 10, 10 divided by 10 is 1. So you'll multiply your numerator by 1. So 9 times 1, that gives you 9. Then you put back your sign. Now you'll focus here. 5 into 10 or 10 divided by 5, that's 2. So it's 2 multiplied by your numerator. So 2 times 8, 2 times 4 gives you 8 equals 9 plus 8 gives you 17 over 10. So that can be the answer, or if your teacher says it has to be in the lowest form, or if it must be a mixed number now, that's a little bit different. If it's in the lowest form and both of them, you'll just simply try to find a number that can divide into both of them and it would be in the lowest form. But if you're in this case, if it's say you're supposed to put them in mixed form, you just simply divide your top number by your bottom number. So 17 divided by 10, that's 1. So you'll put your big 1. And then if you subtract now 10 from 17, that leaves you with 7. So you'll just put a 7 over the 10. And that would be mixed number. And that would be the basic one that teachers showed you. Subtraction is the same principle, trying to find the lowest common multiple between them. So you write out all the factors, something like 4 times 1 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. And you'll continue, and then you write out the factors of 16 as well. And then when you find them, you realize that there's a 16 for an answer here, and there's a 16 for an answer there. So those are the lowest common multiples. So you just simply draw your line, put your the number that was similar between both of them. 16, it's 16 times 1, so you know that 16 can only go into 16 one time. So you'll just put a times 1 there. And then 15 times 1 gives you 15. Minus. Now, it was 4 times 4 that gave you 16. So you know that your numerator has to be multiplied by 4. So 3 times 4, that gives you 12. Equals 15 minus 12, that gives you 30. And you put back your denominator. So it's 3 over 16. And that's it. Now if you realize that the numbers here and the numbers there, they are the exact same numbers. Because there's also another way that you can actually work it out. But it's just that if you're not good at finding factors, this might be a challenge, especially if the teacher requires you to put it in the lowest form. So the next method for you to possibly use is just to say that you'll just simply multiply. So for you to find your denominator, you'll simply multiply the two numbers that are at the bottom. So 5 times 10, that gives you 50. Now, for the other part, you'll just simply cross multiply. So it would be the numerator here multiplied by the denominator on the other side. So 9 times 5, that gives you 45. And then you put back your sign plus, so it would be now this way. So 4 times 10. And that gives you 40 equal 85 over 50. Good. So when you get it like that, you can now use the simplifying part. So what number can go into both of them? You know that once a number ends with 5 or 0, 5 can go into it. So you can divide both of them by 5. So 5 into 85. So 5 into 8 would be 1. And you would basically say carry 3. So 5 into 35 gives you 7 over 5 into 50 is 10. So you realize that these two answers now are the same thing. And then you can put it in the mixed number form, which would give you the same thing. So that's another way. And with the subtraction part, same thing. You simply multiply the two numbers that are at the bottom. So 4 times 16, that would give you 64. Then you simply cross multiply now. And please note, you always start with this number times this and put it first, because you don't want to rearrange the question order or the answer will be different. So 4 times 15 now, that will be 60 minus 3 times, now you will do this part. So 3 times 16, that gives you 48. And so now 60 minus 48, that gives you 12. And now you will simply try to find the factors that can go into both. So you generally try to find the highest number that can go into both of them, and then you will divide both numbers by it. And if you know your timetable, it will not be very challenging. So the highest factor for 12 and 64 would actually be 4. So 4 into 12 would be 3 times. So you generally can just say divided by 4 over 4. It's the same thing. So 4 into 12 goes 3 times. And 4 into 64 now, that would actually go 16 times, because 4 into 6 goes 1 time, and you will have a remainder of 2. So this would basically be seen as 24, and 4 into 24 is 6 times. So you realize that the answer here and the one here, they're the same thing, even though we use two different approaches in order to get the answer. So that's how you work out solving fractions when you're dealing with addition and subtraction. If it's common denominators, just simply focus on the numerators. But if there are different denominators, you'll have to find the factors to get the answer, or you will have to perform this new method that I would have showed you if you have never seen it before. So thanks for watching, and tune in again with Mr. Brown as I'll show you different ways to solve mathematical problems. Thanks for watching.